The bearded ladies transfer us to a new post-apocalyptic world filled with mutant creatures, and they do so with newfound mastery. A dash of Death Stranding, a sprinkling of Horizon Zero Dawn, but most importantly, a lot of strategy and exploration. These are the ingredients recognizable in the new invention of the writers of Mutant Year Zero, a title that offered a very welcome novelty in the strategic panorama in the previous generation. In fact, the bearded ladies appears to have made the post-apocalypse its comfort zone, stealing every helpful element from similar items and then embellishing it in its own way. We are witnessing the result of the Swedish studio's complete creative freedom, which is no longer hampered by having to deal with someone else's intellectual property. After the half-baked blunder that was Corruption 2029, the urge for atonement is palpable. In Miasma Chronicles, we found the same RPG underpinnings and strategies that made Bormin and Dux's story shine, masterfully expanded and perfected in a sci-fi adventure with flakes. While the comparison with the works cited before may appear dangerous, they were the first ones that came to mind as the plot began to unravel. Of course, Elvis, the protagonist who lives in the mining town of Sedentaria, and his robotic older brother Diggs live in a world that is vastly different from that of Sam Porter Bridges and Aloy. The most astute gamers, on the other hand, may notice parallels between Miasma Chronicles and titles from Kojima Productions and Guerrilla Games. We are in the New America, a collection of communities separated from one another more than a century after the fall of the Great Stability, a technological renewal program for the rebirth of a society prey to an unimaginable level of pollution. Something clearly went awry in this plan, given the collapse of human society as a result of the metallic pollution, the miasma which has begun to erupt from the subsoil, changing most live creatures into statues and spawning mutants that worship them. Manifestations as divine signs. Our heroes, surrounded by a diverse cast of characters, will have to uncover the truths concealed behind this disaster, those responsible for causing it, and those attempting to control its consequences in order to dominate the country with an iron grip. It will be critical for this research to uncover the true powers of a mystery glove capable of regulating the miasma, which Elvis' mother left him before abandoning him. Finding her again will mean rediscovering his own identity and purpose. That of Miasma Chronicles is a valid coming-of-age story that fascinates but does not surprise, in which the protagonist's growth is intertwined with an ecological critique, of which the in-game currency is the emblem. To purchase the things, we will utilize shards of plastic found dispersed over the world, the last remnants of the originals, a vivid reminder of our society and its vices and environmental degradation. We were struck, however, by the richness of the urban, rural, or underground settings. In order to locate secrets, resources, and weapons, we must methodically investigate intriguing destroyed regions. Exploration is one of the title's pillars, intimately related to its strategic component. Each character is responsible for clearing environmental barriers that blend wonderfully with the occasional puzzle, all of which are designed to make the adventure more difficult. We are given the opportunity to comb the terrain in the vicinity of enemy troops before each battle, both to discover the best location from which to ambush and to go unnoticed, collecting as many resources as possible. In this sense, we truly felt free to tackle each task to the best of our abilities, determining when and how to confront the small number of opponents. Is a band of bandits too powerful for our team's level? No issue, we can divert some minions and stealthily remove the most isolated targets without alerting the entire squad. As in Mutant Year Zero, the stealth component adopts the XCOM2 paradigm, improving it even further by allowing us to enter and exit silent attack mode without necessarily engaging in battle once our stealth activities have been completed. Miasma Chronicles doesn't hold back when it comes to enemies. Bandits, mutant frogs, and mysterious tree entities are just a few of the threats we'll face in the first few hours, using an arsenal of weapons, elemental modifications, and the powers of the mysterious glove with which the protagonist is gifted. By absorbing miasma vortices, we will be able to unlock new attacking skills for the instrument to deploy in turn-based combat. These will allow us to carry out actual atrocities. In general, trump cards are numerous in battle, ranging from interchangeable chips related to passive bonuses to a pair of death dispensers for each protagonist. Weapons have 2 slots to accommodate upgrades. We also put together the consumables at our disposal, and we have a depth that rivals the best gaming strategists. The variety of actions available in the tactical phase may appear overwhelming to a novice at times, but the developers have also considered those seeking a more peaceful experience. If the two extremes are the story mode, which allows us to enjoy the title without too many challenges, and the alpha editor mode, which allows veterans to experience pure suffering, we also have the option to choose between complete tactics and light tactics, with which to maintain or elim. Whatever size you choose, it will take at least 30 hours to finish the main and side tasks. At greater difficulties, the number of hours can only increase, thanks to the inevitable backtracking. Foes will undoubtedly be stronger than us, compelling us to postpone the combat and total exploration to some next level up. The level of challenge is frequently maintained at a high level, and in a variety of situations, we found ourselves getting the best of an opponent who appeared to be escaping by the skin of their teeth, owing to the massive damage that the troops cause. An aspect that appears to artificially balance the artificial intelligence's periodic uncertainties, demonstrating a few too many hesitations in the decision of coverage to be employed in the most populated maps. The difficulty has dropped dramatically in these situations, with the opponents on duty at the mercy of our crossfire. Overall, we still feel like praising the developers' work. Once again, they prove to be skilled artisans of tactical experiences, compelling us to obsessively reconsider the moves to be made on the movement grid, or to try to maximize the chances of a critical hit to get action points bonus, since each character will only have 2 per turn by default. The role-playing phase was no different from the tactical phase. As previously said, there are numerous options for equipping your team based on your combat style. Of course, each character has a preference, and we won't be able to entrust Diggs with sneaky scouting missions, which are preferred by the enigmatic Jade. The skill trees are unique to each protagonist and allow us to reset the points spent developing them at any moment. We introduce passive boosts like power cores and apparel pieces that may be bought in shops or found in the rubble. The abundance of NPCs to interact with and the plethora of audio logs that we discover along our quest are evidence of a game that wants to tell its tale. Even the design of our warriors completely won us over, especially that of the minor robot Diggs, which we found quite inspiring, due to an amazing performance by his voice actor. The visual component is then unavoidable. The representation of the universe of Miasma Chronicles is an extension of the dystopian appeal that we were able to enjoy in Mutant Year Zero, rendered even more encompassing here. The abundance of particle effects, almost hypnotic in their constant dance, complements the massive presence of stalagmite formations, which have ended up swallowing and contaminating buildings, woodland regions, and North America as described in Miasma Chronicles. Our PC experience was largely fluid throughout, but it should be emphasized that the one with which we conducted the evaluation had an above-average configuration. Finally, the heroes' motions are quite pasted, as seen in the cutscenes, and even the face animations have been confirmed as a little stiff.